Again.
Okay, we're officially live. Well, it's good to see everybody. It is that time of year again, and this is our second annual Retirement and Employees of the Year awards via Zoom. And oddly enough, the format itself actually works out pretty well when getting everybody together. It seems like we get a pretty solid number of people together in this format. So kind of growing from last year and still obviously being under some sort of restrictions and guidance at this time of year. Once again, we're going to utilize this format to honor our retirees and our employees of the year. I will say I didn't think we'd be doing this this way again under COVID circumstances another year out, but it seems like at this time we're at a place where things are starting to finally wind back down, and we're getting to a place where a return to normalcy is looking pretty good as we go into the summertime and end next week our school year, and then start preparing for the fall. And hopefully we'll be able to have more meetings like this in person and when we return in August. And I'm pretty confident that that's going to be the case. But before we get there, we want to take some time to honor those who are leaving us at the end of this year, having spent time with us in some couple of years, some extended careers here. And then also at the same time, honor those who have gone above and beyond this year, which I've been so impressed this year with how many nominations we had. And a lot of the stories that people wrote in as part of their nominations, it has been a very difficult year for everybody. And since our return in October, and in some cases, I know our YVS community has been back in person instruction since we returned in August, but it has been a year full of challenges, but then also a lot of real positive stories as we evolved throughout this year to tackle this COVID pandemic and really showcase our skill sets as a community on how we can come together and tackle all the different challenges that came our way. I know I find myself repeating to a lot of colleagues within the superintendent community how, us being open since October in some capacity, whether it be hybrid or in person in our cohorts, we've had a tough year as a school community of having to adapt to all the different changes, where in a lot of districts across the state, they simply stayed closed. And so a lot of the issues that we found ourselves dealing with throughout the last 9, 10, 11 months are issues that other districts simply didn't face. And they're just now getting to that place where they're learning to adapt to all the different challenges with just maybe a couple of weeks left to go, if not already done for the school year in some cases. And so very proud of this community, very proud of the employees, the students, our just community members as a whole, to be ending this school year, a school year like no other, but doing so with a sense of pride. I know particularly in a lot of the areas throughout this county that developed just different game plans and different schedules and pickup, drop off, temperature checks, that came out very strongly in the Employee of the Year nominations. And so this is an opportunity to award not only those who are retiring this year or honor those who are retiring this year, but also to thank those who are going to be highlighted in our Employees of the Year. But just know that for those who were nominated, I know that there are a lot of folks throughout this entire process that were deserving of a nomination just for the hard work that they did. But then obviously those who were nominated, just hearing their stories and just knowing that there are a lot of people out there that care about our school community. And I love reading those stories. And so if you didn't have a chance to, I think just thank a colleague or somebody, within your school community, still got a week left to do so, and just really taking that time to breathe and just say, gosh, I can't believe we did it. We're going to get through this thing. And I know as the restrictions start to lift and we'll get back to some of that normalcy, I think it's going to be a real good opportunity come fall to just really reflect back on where we were, where we're at, and where we're going. And I think it's in some ways it just feels like a nightmare is kind of coming to an end. And so I think as I kick it over to, first off, honor our retirees, I just want to say thank you to everybody for getting through this year. There was no real playbook to go from, as we started this year, and everybody really stepped up and was patient with each other, frustrated with each other. But I think at the end of the day, it came together for our school population, our kiddos. And I can't tell you how many stories of when I would go visit campuses and people telling me that, hey, we were really hesitant when we returned in October. But gosh, I'm so glad that we did. And to show up to campuses and see kids smiling and interacting and playing, this is what it's all about. So to even see that evolution within our own school community was pretty interesting. And I think it lent itself to, I think, as we end the school year, putting our students in a position to be just that much more successful as we go into summertime. So thank you for everybody who's joining this call today, and just thank you for getting us through this year and supporting our students. So with that said, we're going to start off today with honoring our retirees, who I'll be interested to hear their stories on whether or not that this year was the reason why they were done, or if this was planned out. But this was a tough year for everybody. And so I think having the opportunity to honor those who have served in this school community this is a really good format to do so. So I'm going to at this time kick it over to our special education department and Mr. Kim, who's got a variety of employees who are going to be retiring this year, and we want to take some time to honor them and also just kind of hear from them a little bit and their story and maybe some plans for what comes next. So Joshua, I'm going to kick it over to you and let you continue.
Thank you, Superintendent Arwana. I want to first of all congratulate all the retirees. I envy you. I'm hoping to be there someday pretty soon. And I have 4 individuals that are retiring from our department. The first person that who is retiring is Kathy Ellen. Actually, she already retired last July. And last time I had some information on her was that she was enjoying her long-term vacation very much. So to tell a little bit about Miss Kathy Allen, she was a special education department secretary, and she worked for a district for the past 21 years. And she was known as a very conscientious and hardworking individual who loved what she did. She was always available for helping others and answering questions and making sure that all the records and information that we need in special department are correctly updated and upkept. And also, I remember many times when she'll be working even after hours, trying to make sure that all the work is done on time and properly. And there are many, many days that I've seen her just working at a desk while maintaining a smile and a positive attitude about her work. And it was a pleasure to have known her for about a year when I first came here, and to have worked with her. And many people know her as having somebody who has a great personality, who is approachable and helpful. And I wish her the best of the retirement years, and we miss her very much. And we congratulate her on retirement. And on the Miss Laura Deals, I have asked actually her teacher, Mr. Craig Domer, to help me with getting some information about her so that we can do a proper retiree recognition. And Mr. Domer have given me some information, and I kind of quote what Mr. Domer have wrote about her. Mr. Domer has said, Laura Deal was a dedicated employee to the school district, classroom, fellow employees, and above all students she served. She worked for our district for 18 years. She was kind to her students, always accommodating to their wants and needs. Laura was professional, paid attention to detail, and had a flair for art. She was a natural fit for her job, nurturing, kind with a big heart. She always checked in with the teachers, staying on track with the curriculum and the work at hand. Laura was always positive and enthusiastic. She had good advice and guidance for the students. Laura had a wonderful relationship with the students. They knew they were safe with her and could ask questions. She always took the time to make the student feel special. Laura was a joy to work with, funny, upbeat, always helping to solve problems, to help the classroom run smoothly. She was so surely be missed, and we sure well turning the page and opening a new chapter in her life. Thank you, Laura, for all the years dedicated to our students and the district. Happy retirement, Laura. And also, I have Karen Helms. And also, this is she is the aide for Mr. Domer, and I also quote him one more time on Ms. Karen Holmes. Says Karen Holmes was a dedicated employee to the school district classroom, fellow employees, and of all students who she served. She worked with our districts for 7 years. She was kind to our students, always accommodating to their wants and needs. Karen was professional and paid attention to detail and had a flair for electronics. She was a natural fit for her job, nurturing, kind, and big-hearted. She always checked in with the teachers, staying on track with the curriculum and work at hand. Karen was always positive and enthusiastic. She had a good advice and guidance for the students. Karen had a wonderful relationship with the students. They knew they were safe with her and could ask questions. She always took the time to make the student feel special. Karen was a joy to work with, funny, happy, always helping to solve problems to help the classroom run smoothly. She will surely be missed, and we wish her best well. As Karen turns the page and opens a new chapter in her life, we will thank you for the years dedicated to our district. Happy retirement, Karen. And finally, I have Ms. Julian Menkins. Ms. Julian Menkins worked for our district for 20 years. She worked for special education's preschool program with Ms. Debbie Kate for the past 6 years. Previously, she also worked as a general education instructional aide and campus supervisor. While I had not had to personally work closely with Ms. Menkins, I am informed that she was an individual that had done a great job, and she worked well with our students and well with our staff, and she was well liked by everyone. And also, I was told that she was very conscientious about her work, and she worked very well, providing services to our preschool students and support for the classrooms. When I visit my classes in our district that have students with disability, I have seen these individuals at work, and it is with a true pleasure and honor to be able to say something about their work. And it is my pleasure and honor to be able to say happy retirement and congratulations to you all 4 people who have made that final decision to go on your long-term vacation. And I will be envying your tequilas and the beaches that you're going to be enjoying. So thank you for your service.
All right, thank you, Joshua. And Amy, I think just monitoring the individuals that are in the room, if there are folks who, as part of this ceremony, I think that are here that would like to speak, we want to be able to acknowledge that as well. And so I'm going to count on you to kind of monitor to see if some folks would want to speak. And just
I got a call this morning from Kathy Allen. She had a family emergency, so she wanted me to accept her award and thank everybody. She misses everyone. She's hoping to visit soon. She really wanted to be here today, but she did have an emergency, so she called me this morning just to let me know. So Jillian and Karen and Laura did not respond to my invite, but I believe they probably felt the same way or do feel the same way. But yeah, I will keep an eye on any of our retirees who are here. I know I see a few of them have logged in, so
good.
Let you know.
All right. Well, we'll kick it over next to our Educational Service Department and Lydia Lauer.
Hi, I am excited to get the opportunity to take a moment to honor and celebrate the fabulous Jadine Johnson. She has been with our district for 20 years and has really been the backbone for the Educational Services Department. She has made it through many directors, many changing state requirements and reporting systems, and has never failed to figure out what needs to be done and use her diligence, hard work, and compassion to make sure that everything is completed. From PD to homeless foster youth programs to after school programs to categorical funding to CARES dollars, she has truly kept us organized and on the right track as an entire district, and we're very appreciative of that. And she definitely finds true joy and has a passion for helping others and problem solving, which has been so instrumental to us moving forward. I have gotten to work with Jadine just over my last 5 or 6 years in the district and have certainly learned so much from her, and I'm so appreciative of that. And we'll definitely miss you, Jadine, but I'm excited for you in your newest adventures. But I also wanted to give Celeste Azevedo an opportunity, as I know that she worked directly with Jadine for longer than I did, and I wanted her to just have an opportunity to pay her respects and honor as well.
Thank you, Lydia. So as I was thinking about what to say about Jadine, I was reminded of her love of quilting. Throughout the years, I've seen her passion projects come to life in beautiful colors and shapes. I also like to quilt, and I like to focus on the bright colors and the patterns, which are typically what draws someone to a quilt. But once you have been quilting a while, you begin to develop an appreciation for the stitching, the threads that hold the pieces together, the intricate details and designs in the background, the interlocking threads that are the strength and the integrity that keeps the quilt intact, makes it a keepsake to be cherished for generations in a family. Jadine has been the stitching of the district. She is often unnoticed behind the scenes. She's the detail-oriented thread that keeps things running smoothly. She is the connection of multiple generations of superintendents, CBOs, directors of education that has created continuity and held it all together. And most importantly, she is the connection of all the beautiful pieces of fabric of our school district that are the schools, the staff, and the students. In all of her years of service, she has put students and staff first. If you happen to have a well-loved quilt in your family, you may know all too well what happens when the stitching starts to fall apart. It is only at that moment you fully realize how important those intricate little stitches are. Jadine, as you retire, know that we are forever thankful for you holding our tapestry together. I'm confident the hard work you gave our schools will last a lifetime.
Thank you, Celeste. And Jadine is, I'm seeing, okay, Amy's shaking her head. Yes, we'll hand it over to Jadine. Here are all those travel plans.
I am very grateful to have had this opportunity to work so long with so many of you, and I challenge you to just always put the kids first and your colleagues. Doug and Doug will come up a little bit later, but I'm going to steal the thunder now. Doug and I are excited about our adventures that we will be starting in August. We are actually leaving on a 4.5-month trip with our fifth wheel to discover this great country that we live in, and to just take our time and to explore new adventures. We are going to zip line the Snake River. We are going to go to Washington, D.C. that we have never seen before. We're going to put our feet in the Atlantic Ocean and just enjoy each other's company. Yesterday, we celebrated our 47th wedding anniversary, and we've been teasing each other that will we make it to 48 after 4.5 months in the trailer. So we'll see. But we're excited about the next chapter of our lives.
Well, thank you, Jadine. That sounds like quite an adventure. I think you guys will do just fine. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for this district. And I have a sneaking suspicion that you won't, you'll be around if need be, as far as phone calls, contacts, lunchtime visits, all that fun stuff. So
Mary does have me on speed dial.
There you go. Thank you. And make sure you come back to tell us about all these adventures as well. Very good. You did steal Doug's thunder. Now he's just going to have to come up with something else. All right. Well, Linda, you are up next. And so I will kick it over to you. in
All
our
right.
MCFW department.
Yeah, so I was shocked to have two retire from my department during a pandemic, and which I wasn't prepared for. So they were both really great employees, and they both really deserved to retire. John Stewart was the warehouse guru, as I referred to him, for the district for many, many years. I think he worked here for well over 25 years, but don't quote me on the exact amount of numbers. And John, I would meet with him in the late afternoon to de-stress from up here, and he would entertain me with little sayings he had or books that he had on the shelf that he found from when departments were emptying out books. That man loves to read, very avid reader. He held many, many degrees, and he kept that all to himself. He was not boastful about all his education, and he was the one everyone turned to for solutions for the warehouse. That man could stack things so inappropriately high as a safety concern, but I let him do it because he knew exactly what he was doing. And when he announced to me that he was retiring, of course I was sad, but I wish him and his wife well, because he deserved it. And I've had a few conversations with him since, but I've left him alone because I think he does not need the chaos of the MOTFW department. So John was just truly an asset to our department, and I miss him every day. And I think of him as I walk by his house because he lives on the same road as me. And for Randy Pretzer, he was our groundskeeper for many years. And he did a really great job on keeping our fields intact. He did everything in his power to ask the squirrels to leave our fields and not continue to make holes in them. And he repaired all the irrigation, and he was at the point where he was ready to move to Arkansas and check out of the district, and he deserved it. So nothing but the best for him.
All right, thanks, Linda. And Amy, no John on the phone? Okay. Well, then we will go ahead and kick it over to Celeste and Ryan. I'll start with Celeste, who have our next two individuals.
So I would like to begin by speaking about Doug Johnson. Doug, I wanted to come up with an analogy, but I have a one analogy a day quota, so sorry. If I had to sum up Doug's career, I would say that Doug is a hard worker. And I say this with 100% the most gratitude and appreciation. Being a hard worker is an accolade difficult to earn. For Doug, this means over 30 years of coaching track for MCHS, 30 years of hot summer days on the field, 30 years of late night, early 1 a.m. mornings waiting for students to be picked up, 30 years of quietly prepping the track, picking up rocks, lining, striping, and hauling equipment. And most importantly, 30 generations of sharing and developing a passion for track within our community. And remember, this was his side gig. Because during the day or the night or the swing shift, Doug has worked at multiple schools within our county, including Woodland, MES, the old middle school, and MCHS, not to mention summer maintenance at all of the sites in our district. He has worked behind the scenes, making sure our schools are safe and clean and ready for students. I think Doug prefers to be behind the scenes, and he definitely downplays his accomplishments. He's just that type of guy, a guy that works hard and gives his best every day. I'm not allowed to say how old Doug is because I don't want to hang out with HR tomorrow, but I have asked people I know how old Doug is multiple times because I'm always amazed at how spry he is. He is the man that looks for work, can't stay still, is constantly suggesting the next project that needs to be done, and he always does it with a calming, positive attitude. Doug, as you retire, know that we are forever grateful for being the role model of hard work. We appreciate you.
All right, and is Ryan going to take on our next individual who's reminded me multiple times that he might be tired, but he's not sure if he's retired?
Think
I
we're
can
both
if you'd
headed
like.
to
I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
Celeste probably has something to say about him too.
go for it.
You want me to start?
Yes, go for it.
Okay. So just a warning, this is a little lighthearted, but I do care about Dennis. So when I think of Dennis, I think of food. Not because he ever fed us or because he was a hobby as a home chef, but because he constantly asked the question, did you bring something for me? How about, will there be any food? When I asked my staff for memories about Dennis, Linda Phipps simply responded to this. Do you have any cookies? How about any food? Well, if you don't have any food, I'm not coming. Dennis has worked at Alt-Ed for the last couple years. He's spent a long time teaching. I know that I've talked to him about this before, and I think it's close to 40 years or more. At the Alt-Ed, his experience was so beneficial because you have to build rapport with students in such a short amount of time. And these are students that maybe have never built rapport with a teacher before. And Dennis excelled at building that rapport. He always went over and above to make sure to build relationships with students, to find out about their home life, their interests. And with that, John Phillips said that he was always impressed with how Dennis had the ability to connect with and work with students and make IEPs relevant and meaningful. He just wished that Dennis could finish a damn sentence in this century. If not, we'd have Dennis for another. Dennis is never afraid to go the extra mile for students, whether that mean bringing in a motorcycle for a kid to work on, which he has done, or spending late nights at Savory's working on IEPs. Terry Burns said that one time, while in search for a postman in the play Damn Yankees, Dennis volunteered, and his ability to ad-lib lines about Mrs. Pooper will always bring a smile to Terry's face. Finally, we all know that retirement has been on Dennis's mind for a while. Doc said that years ago when he retired, he had talked to Dennis about his upcoming retirement and asked Dennis when he was going to retire. And Dennis said something that Doc found odd, which Doc said that Dennis always says things that he finds odd, which was, retire to what? I have a great job and I enjoy what I do. Why would I let that part of my life go while I'm still able to continue? Doc agreed that he was correct, and Doc obviously returned to teaching 45 minutes after his first day of retirement. So Dennis, we're all going to miss you at the Alt-Ed. We're going to miss your dumb jokes and your positive attitude. We're going to miss your work ethic and your can-do spirit. But most of all, I think we're going to miss those 5:30 p.m. Sunday night IEP phone calls. Because that'll be something that we probably won't get from the next person. Thank you for everything you've done.
And I know, Celeste, I know we have Doug on with us. And so after your remarks for Doug, we'll go back to, for Dennis, we'll go back to Doug and give him a chance to fill us in on his version of what retirement's going to look like.
Perfect. So Dennis, apparently Ryan and I should have touched base because we both went for the humor, but I do feel kind of validated in our notable similar observations. So if I could give Dennis an award, it would be for the most minutes at MCHS. Dennis has been known to be a frequent flyer of his MCHS classroom on weekends, nights, most days in the summer. And while I joke, it is because of the free air condition and fast internet. Urban legend even suggests that he's worked from the parking lot when he couldn't get to his room. In reality, he is there because of his passion and dedication to our students. Dennis is a faithful caretaker of some of our most precious students. He's an advocate, a good listener, a problem solver, and a cheerleader for all the students and parents he has worked with. While he used to be known, but apparently still is at Alternative Ed, for his walkabouts to find candy, he is also known for his festive Hawaiian shirts. I will miss the familiar sounds of Dennis in the hallways and his drop-in meetings to share his latest ideas. Dennis, at one of our many meetings, you shared you wanted to be the Lloyd Hobby of special education. I can't let you live that down. My friend, I think you have certainly achieved that legacy. Multiple generations of Mariposa families are forever grateful for your service. Thank you for being an advocate to our students.
Thank you, Celeste. And that's a great quote. Doug, we'll toss it over to you to fill us in on whatever Jadine has not provided us with already. So go for it.
Well, she did steal a lot of my thunder. Okay, you know, she went first and she says it better than I do. The one thing that I would like to just add to that is I'm looking forward after our trip, like spring and then the fall after that, is going, I'm not even call it vacation, going on a trip during the week rather than on a weekend. So we can go when nobody else is there and maybe just enjoy some of the campgrounds when they're empty rather than full. As far as field, the last 2 years have been very challenging with a short season last year and a short season this year. I will probably miss those kids more than, well, definitely more than cleaning toilets. So it's just going to be a different world out there and a challenge. So, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, thank you, Doug, and thank you for your service. And we look forward to hearing about your updates as well. And enjoy that time getting the heck out of here and just you and your wife and the open road. That sounds fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good. Okay. And Dennis, are you with us or have you made it down to Savory's yet?
I'm here.
All right.
So, well, I'm never short of having comments to say, and I'm sitting here and about a bazillion things are going through my mind about what to say, and I got to tell Doug something. That Doug, if you're listening, this is the first time in 30 years that I've about known you that I've ever seen you without your hat on. So I've always been very envious of your hat, but anyway. I'm going to go out and buy one of those with the solar power, cooler in it. So anyway, Doug, you've enjoyed working with you. So the thing that comes to my mind is one word, and that's family. I've developed so many relationships. It's an amazing. Some of the wonderful people that are no longer with us that we want to always remember and honor, and the people that are here now. And it's just a really, really wonderful family. And I guess I decided that it's time. I did say that to Doc, and I remember making the comment to Doc about retire to what. I do have a family outside of school, which I love, that I want to spend more time with. And but the relationships with parents and teachers and coworkers, it's just an amazing, it's such an honor to go walk down the street or have somebody drive by and say, "Hi, Mr. Wood," and you really have no idea who they are, and they smile at you, and I'm thinking, wow. But so I've thought about retiring for some time, and wasn't a few months back that I was in Savory's, I will admit it, and was sitting at a table with my wife, and a a family came in, and I looked at the kid, and then realized that this is one of my favorite students from years ago. And he looked at me and said hi. We smiled, and I looked again, and he had a full gray beard, a big, bushy, full gray beard. At that moment, I decide, look, if my former students are coming in with full, bushy, gray beards, it is definitely time to retire. That's a true story. And I thought, it's time. And so that's it. And I absolutely love working here, and hopefully I'm going to still have some connection. I've had a couple parents ask me if I would consider serving as an advocate for them, and I'm going to be researching that. And but I'm looking very forward to spending time with my grandkids and being able to visit my son in Pittsburgh and spend time traveling with my wife. And I'm loving the idea of going on a cruise after we're all clear of COVID again. I want to go on a COVID-free cruise. That's my goal. So anyway, I love everybody, and I just thank everybody for everything they've done. And wow, if I started thanking specific people, I probably would leave somebody out. So I'm just going to say thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dennis. We appreciate everything you've done for this district. And when you say the word family, I think what I have seen in my time here, particularly after events like this, when folks retire, that they're still interconnected as part of that family. And so I know that although you might be taken off enjoying retirement, I have a hunch that you'll still be around and connected in some fashion to a lot of these folks. So
you'll be finding me at the Peer Studio gym a lot. And where I think hopefully Sarah will still be my coach as an encourager as she was years ago. So
very good.
I'm there for you, Dennis.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Dennis. Next up, we have Erin Vershagen. Ms. Vershagen.
Hi, guys. I don't believe, I think Michelle told me she wasn't going to be here, but I'd still like to say some really wonderful things about her, because she was a very special individual at MES for a really, really long time. Kind of a rock in whatever grade level she spent time in. I know that she started back in 1999, back in Yosemite Valley, but then she moved to MES in 2001 and was there ever since. So she spent 20 years at our school. I had to ask her exactly because she was there when I got there, so I didn't know exactly how long she had been there. She taught everything between Arcadia and MES. She taught everything from kindergarten all the way to 5th grade, sometimes a straight, sometimes a split. She was willing and able to do literally anything you asked her. I know in my time with her as both a colleague and an administrator, she turned out to be the leader of whatever grade level she was in, somebody you could turn to ask advice. She'd hop on any committee you asked her to be a part of, or not asked her, she would hop on too. So she was just one of those people who really enjoyed being a part of things at our school and being a part of our MES family. I will remember her. She was always really calm and kind. She was somebody I could turn to for advice sometimes, in things, the situations with parents and things that I didn't, have the best, especially in the early years, didn't have any, I was younger than the parents and didn't know what to do. And, I needed some help, and she was always somebody that was really helpful. But I think the thing that most people will remember her for were the plays and the musicals she put on every year. I swear the entire multipurpose room was filled with people every year to listen to whatever. She always did some kind of nature. So the last ones I remember, lily pads and all kinds of cute, everybody was a little creature of some kind or some kind of animal, and they'd come in their cute costumes. Their beetle costumes would have the big thing in the back, or it was just really cute how she came up with things. And that's what I think most people will remember. I remember when I was in Mrs. Shattuck's class, I was a frog, or I was a beetle, or I was whatever it was. So those are things that kids and parents and families will remember for years. And I know that I will as well. But I appreciated Michelle and everything she brought to the table. And I know that whatever she does in her retirement, she'll do with passion and kindness. So I wish her all the best. We'll miss her, but I know she'll enjoy the next chapter.
Thanks, Erin. And I know we have Miss Matlock next, and she is losing a couple of long-term employees, and so I'm going to kick it over to her to honor the next 3 individuals, and a lot of combined years of service here.
Definitely. I just want to say congratulations to everybody that's already been announced, Dennis and Jadine and Doug, and their amazing service. Yeah, and I'm going to try and get through this without getting emotional, because these are incredible people. They have over 90 years of service time to this district, and not only just amazing educators, but amazing people. And that's Judy Sims and Monica Fieldstead and Chris Forsyth. I'm going to start with Judy. Judy has worn, I would say, almost every hat in the district. She started in 1985 and then retired this spring with 36 years of service. So she started as an instructional aide here at Woodland, and all her years are at Woodland. Has done campus supervision, food service, and the last 7-8 years has been our beloved librarian. Judy, as many of you know, is somebody that doesn't ever ask why, but how can I help? She is an incredible team member. She just jumps in wherever she's needed. She's an incredibly hard worker. I asked a group of retired teachers recently, what would you say about Judy Sims? And they just talked about how calm she is, just incredibly professional, and that both kids and staff adore her because she is compassionate yet firm, and just cares deeply about our students, our campus, our district. The level of commitment is astounding, and I feel really lucky to have worked with her. When I asked her, well, what was your favorite job at Woodland? Because she had so many different roles, and she said she loved being an aide because she could really see the growth in students over time. And I know I talked with Barbara Silva, who a lot of you know, and she just commented on how amazing Judy was as an aide. As far as retirement, because Judy retired a few months ago, she said she's been spending her time horseback riding, and if she's, I think she's on the call, let her talk a little bit more about that. But I just want to tell Judy how lucky we have been to have you here on our staff at Woodland all these years, and the difference you've made in the lives of so many children over the years, your 36 years of service. So thank you. And do you want me to stop, or I have 2 other people to talk about, so I'll just keep moving forward and then have them all go at the end. Okay. Monica Fieldstead also retired very recently. She's been an educator for over 30 years. She actually started down in Riverside at the School of the Deaf, and has been in our district for 27 years. She has kind of done it all as well. She started in the severely disabled special day class in Greeley Hill, Lake Don Pedro, MES, moved over to the special day class at Woodland, and then moved into administration, became a vice principal, both here and at the middle school. In 2008, she came over to Woodland and spent the rest of her career here. So she was an EOC teacher, the principal, and most recently the RSP teacher for the last many, many years. Through the years, Monica says her favorite position was in the learning handicap classroom, where she was with a group of students for more than 5 years. So she really got to see them grow and bloom and flourish academically and socially. I'm going to insert this, but she may comment on this as well. One thing she loves about retirement is not having to attend meetings and spending time with her grandchildren. For me, Monica has personally been a mentor to me. She's somebody who's an incredible wealth of knowledge. She knows SPED law. She knows reading intervention. If you ask Monica, she's going to know the answer. She's just been, all of us throughout the district have really leaned into her for her expertise over the years. And so it's a big loss as she retires, but we're excited for her too. She is what I would call a cornerstone of our campus here at Woodland. She's really just been there, done that, everything here, and we're really going to miss her here. Chris Forsythe is retiring at the end of this year, and she's a first grade teacher at Woodland. I've had the honor of working with her the last few years. She has been in the district since 1994, has 29 years in education, 27 at MCUSD. She started off at Mariposa Middle School in agriculture, which I didn't know until talking to her recently. She's been at Cathays Valley. She taught kindergarten and first grade there in a combination class. When that campus closed, she came up to MES, where she taught kindergarten and first grade in a combination class there. And then we've been lucky to have her here at Woodland since 2017, where she's really been a lead and a mentor to our primary teachers here. So when I asked her, what was your favorite position? She said, oh, first grade. She loves to teach children to read and really see the growth in that age category. So Chris is a workhorse. I just have to say that she's somebody, I jokingly said one time, she's the last car in the parking lot award. Somebody who comes in, stays late, is here on weekends a lot, much like the other two employees that I just talked about, just incredible work ethic. So she just models for students self, service above self. So I feel very fortunate to have worked with her the last many years. Luckily, we'll be seeing a lot of her. She has 8 grandkids here at Woodland, and maybe more coming to Woodland in the upcoming years, 11 grandkids total. But I just want to wish them all happiness in retirement and thank them for their service. They've been a mentor, all 3 of them, mentors for many of us here at Woodland, and cornerstones for our campus. And we have a little bench outside. Shout out to the industrial arts class at the high school. It honors their 90 years of service. It's right outside the office at Woodland, so stop by sometime. And it's just a beautiful marker for these amazing 3 women. So thank you. You've been an inspiration, all of you.
And thank you, Sarah. And I think we have all 3 of them with us here. And so we'll start back up at the top. Judy, are you there? Are you with us? Amy, is Judy with us?
She is. She's just muted. Oh, now she.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. All right.
Okay, if you can hear me.
Yes. What's on the agenda? What is post, or what does retirement look like?
Retirement has been pretty awesome so far. The check comes to my account, and I can't believe every month that I'm getting paid to stay home. It's pretty wonderful. I have been riding my horse pretty often, and we have a horse trip planned up north with my granddaughter and my daughter. And then we're going to Trinidad for salmon fishing at the end of July. And a couple more horse trips, one to the Stewart Horse Camp in Northern California. So that's pretty busy, and I have family obligations here. My mother and both my in-laws are both still alive, so we spend some time with them also. I just want to say I have loved every minute of my jobs at Woodland and working at the Mariposa County School District. I couldn't have worked at a better place. I feel so grateful to have worked there and met and worked with all the wonderful people I have worked with. They're just super people. They're just all wonderful. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Judy. That sounds exciting. And just appreciate all the work that you've done and all the service to the school community. So thank you. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
And that check will keep coming. So you should get used to it.
I will. I have promised I will.
All right. Ms. Fields, or excuse me, Ms. Ritter. Are you with us?
That has always been confusing. I know, but you know, my sister-in-law, Lori Ritter, she took my, you know, the Ritter, and I didn't want to confuse people. So I went by Mrs. Fieldstead. No, I have loved retirement so far. I enjoy, you know, I'm already enjoying grandchildren, that whole episode, love it dearly, and can't wait to continue those years with the kids. You know, Dennis had mentioned it's really hard to thank one person, but Dennis will know who I'm speaking of. And I really want to thank Pat Fithian, who is the person that reached out and took a chance on me and hired me without even any knowledge of me. And I'd never been in a special day class per se. I'm a physical education teacher as far as my first career. So it was, you know, I thank her for bringing me back to Mariposa. And as Judy has said, you know, Mariposa County Unified has always been kind to me, and from the heart, I loved working for this district. Here I go, Sarah. And I appreciate everything that they've done, and couldn't have wanted to be anyplace else, actually. So many of you I know, and I'm glad to be retiring with Jadine and Doug. That's awesome, because they've been very helpful throughout the years. So just want to thank you for my years of service here.
Thank you, Monica. I think we're going to be seeing more of you as well. I don't think you're running too far away. So thank you for all of your service. And I know, like I said, you're not going too far away, and you'll continue to be part of the school community. And just thank you for everything. All right, Miss Forsyth.
Okay, I'm unmuting myself. Can you guys hear me? All
yeah.
right. Okay. I never ever thought I would end my career in the situation that we have been in the end of last year and what we've gone through this year. I never thought my last year would be like this. I had kind of planned on going out on this year, regardless of anything. I did think about going out earlier, like during the year, if we did not go back to class like we did in October, had we been shut down and had to go back to distance learning, I would have been out. The distance learning thing that we did towards the end of last year was just awful for kids. And I'm hoping that the whole United States understands what they did to kids by shutting down schools. This is really not fair to these kids. And it goes all the way from kindergarten all the way up to high school. What you did to seniors last year, where these kids couldn't do what they would normally do in their senior year, taking away sports from kids, was really hard on kids. And so in a positive note, I feel like I'm starting to see these kids really start to grow and blossom this year, that I was really afraid when we came back, it was going to be like a really terrible year. But I'm starting to see these guys start to, I don't know what happened. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Well, my screen just went blank. So anyway, I've enjoyed my years teaching here. I really felt like when I was teaching down in Kathy's Valley, that's where I would end my career. And things changed, you know, when they closed the school down. And so the big reason why I'm at Woodland was because of my grandkids that are here. I have the 8 kids that are here now, and there will be some more that will be coming in the future. And so this was a great place for me to end my teaching. So I want to thank everybody that I worked with. I miss some of my teaching friends that are at MES, and even some of them that were at, I think there's 2 teachers still left that I taught with down at Kathy's Valley that are either at MES or at Lake Don Pedro. And I miss some of my friends that are no longer with us, that is one of them was my mentor that I had that gave me the insights that I have for teaching reading. She's the one that really taught me how to teach kids how to read. And I miss her dearly. So I want to thank everybody for my time here, and I will miss the kids, but I will be back at school in some capacity.
And we look forward to that, Chris. There's no escaping. So thank you for everything. And we know you're going to continue to be part of the school community, just like with Monica. And I think that's something we're all looking forward to. So thank you for your service, and
all right.
Enjoy the summer.
All right, I will.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Henderson.
Yes, sir. I would like to start off by thanking Monica for shedding a few tears, because that really helps the speakers coming next to really keep themselves together. Thank you. I would like to recognize Teresa Angel. She was originally working at Greeley Hill Elementary as a sped aide and janitor. And then when the school closed down, we were fortunate enough to have her transfer down here. And the things about Teresa is that she was always just reliable and consistent day after day. I think she ended up working close to 30 years for a school district. She was great with kids. When she was a janitor, her rooms are clean, spotless. And the one area too that, like, she was always the person who would clean up the staff room after we had our potlucks without asking. And she just always was taking the initiative to take care of things that she saw needed to be done around the school. Any year she could have been a candidate for employee of the school year. Everything was always spick and span clean. She never complained, and she was just a great person to be around every day. The next person, Mr. Steve McDonald. Well, Steve may not be ready to retire yet. So some of you probably may not know, but he has been commuting from down by LA area. And so he stays here during the week in Don Pedro. And on Sunday nights around 11 or 12 o'clock at night, he starts his commute to work. And so because I've actually have wanted to go through and calculate all the miles that my staff drives to get to school here. So his dedication will definitely be missed. I will definitely miss his conversations at lunchtime, the times that we get to talk about baseball, because I'm an A's fan and he's a Giants fan. But you know, he might become a Dodger fan now that he's in LA. Who knows? It could happen. Some McDonald-isms that we love here in our community is his turkey disguise contest, the pumpkin decorating that he has hosted forever. He's been in our district for 23 years, and it was a great blessing for my 3 kids to have him as a kindergarten teacher. My oldest, Cody, started in Ceres Unified School District and was on pace and on track. And then when we moved up here, he was all of a sudden behind the other kindergartners because Mr. McDonald already had him reading with his blue books. And so I think he should publish his blue books, because Cody was able to he was reading at the end of the kindergarten year, and he's been just a great pillar for our community and our school. So thank you, Mr. McDonald.
Okay, and do we have Steve and Teresa here with us?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Well, thank you. I've been here 23 years. I've taught kindergarten 19 out of those 23 years. I've enjoyed it a lot. As you were asking whether COVID caused anything to change, and no, we moved about 1.5 years ago. And the last 2 years, I tried to get a job down in where I lived, and nobody was hiring. Either I didn't give good interviews. One time I thought I had a good interview, and the next day schools shut down across the state. So I was here, but now that I'm 60 years old, I've decided I can't keep on commuting. I want to see my wife on Monday night and Tuesday night and Wednesday night and Thursday night, and my kids. And so this is my time to call it quits and retire. So thank you for the kind words. I've enjoyed Lake Don Pedro Elementary School immensely. It's been a wonderful place to work, and I've appreciated it. So as to becoming a Dodger fan, that will never happen. So you won't have to worry about that, Mr. Henderson.
You are wearing Dodger blue, though.
Yeah, it's boy blue too.
All right, thanks, Steve. Really enjoy that, and I hope that you keep in touch with Ron and keep him updated on how it's going down there. And Ron can share those stories. We're gonna miss you.
Sure. Thank you.
So, okay, and Teresa's here with us as well. I'm not seeing her. No, Ron, we're not seeing her. Okay. Well, very good. Well, that concludes our the portion of honoring our retirees. And so for our next portion of our get together today, we're going to honor our employees of the year. And so we have 3 different categories, and we're going to start off with the classified employee of the year. And I just wanted to once again say that during this process, the kind words that everybody who has been nominated and by your colleagues, it's just been so inspiring, because it just reminds you of all the difficult things we've been through this year, that a lot of people have really stepped up, and hearing those kind words from your colleagues just means a lot. I think ultimately, as we're going to hear today, but also I know just reading in a superintendent, just the connection and kind of family unit we have here in Mariposa, and it really comes out this time of year when you hear these words, read these words. And so Amy, I think, is going to take us from here to talk about our classified employee of the year nominees, as well as award our classified employee of the year.
All right, so attached to the calendar invite, everybody that has the list of all of our nominees. So this year we're not going to list them all out, so it's posted on the invite. So for this year's classified employee of the year goes to Yohan Munez, our custodian at El Portal Elementary and YBS. He is not here. I've been looking to see if he's logged in, but he has not. So, and Jim, I will be sending his award, so please give him honors to Yohan Munez. He amazing comments that was suggested to that everyone had nominated him for. And Jim, since Yohan's not here, did you want to say anything about Yohan?
Well, I would love to. He is here. He's here. He is. He came in for our weekly meeting, just right on time. And I said, hey, why don't you hang out for a little bit here? And how long do I have? I go 30 minutes, 40 minutes? Okay. I just want to say is, in this year, and I'll never forget early in the school year, and we're sitting out in front of this school and trying to create a schedule that would work to balance both sites and to keep both sites open and both sites functioning. And, you talk about creating a COVID protocol schedules, and he sat down, and I think every minute was accounted for in his daily schedule. And he just, from day one, he had, we've got this, we got it, we're going to do this. And I said, the kids are going to be back soon, Juan. And he's like, it's okay. I'm going to like it even more when the kids are here. And he just never stops. He communicates with all the staff. He communicates with the students. During his break times, he's out there playing kickball with the kids, and I could just go on and on. He kept our schools. I think he's a huge part of why our schools were able to stay open. And I just appreciate him so much. I hope he knows that, and we all appreciate him so much. Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And I am happy to be able to present to you the Certificated Employee of the Year. The list of certificated employees who are nominated is also available on the agenda. So you are able to, glance at them. There are so many, but I am very happy to announce to you that our Certificated Employee of the Year is Becky Ballinger, our school nurse. And Becky, I know you're here.
I'm here.
Speech.
I did not prepare a speech. That was a long list of names.
I really appreciate you guys nominating me and then electing me. I really appreciate that. But I definitely couldn't have been in the position that I am without the help of so many people. So I don't know if I'm really deserving of the title because there was a lot of help along the way. It was a rough year, I would definitely say that. Not that I know any different since it's my first year, but I know it wasn't normal. And I'm just thankful to continue on and hopefully be in a different position next year. But thank you very much, and I appreciate the election.
Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate everybody's input on what's going on. I don't know if we explained exactly with all the nominees what the staff has done. Our first part of the HR staff, they took all the nominees, put them together. They took all the comments. They actually have certificates for every nominee and the comments that were made about them and included those with their certificates. So each person has an individualized certificate with some wonderful comments of why they were selected as an Employee of the Year. I have the honor of doing the Administrative Management Employee of the Year nominees. And as you can see, the list there is quite extensive. This year, we've nominated, and I guess we're trying to keep it in the family because Ryan Ballinger is our Administrator of the Year award. We want to say thank you to Ryan. One of the big reasons that stands out in my mind is all the things that Ryan had to take on, not only running the Sierra Independent Study, Sierra Homeschool and the continuation school with the additional students that he's had to have over there. He increased his student load probably 3 times of what it's normally at. The staff did a tremendous job with Ryan's leadership. Along with that project, Ryan actually took on getting 2 schools working towards getting accreditation, not only the continuation, but the Sierra Homeschool trying to get their accreditation. We have some preliminary outcome of what's going to happen from that with the accreditation, but we're still waiting for the final piece to come back from WASC to tell us if those 2 schools are actually accredited. If they are, that's a huge, huge undertaking that Mr. Ballinger and his staff have worked on this year. Ryan, do you have a few words for the audience there to go back to?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for all that nominated me. And again, what a day to be a Ballinger, I guess, huh? No, I couldn't have done it without the help of so many people. My staff has been amazing. They are amazing. They work tirelessly to make sure that the students have what they need, to make sure that I am supported, and I hope that I'm supporting them in the same way. Drew and Lydia, Jeff, Celeste, they are nothing but support to me, and they help me with my questions. Thank you all for the opportunity to work here and to continue to improve upon the program that we have. Again, I'm just very thankful, and I hope to continue this improvement and this work for many years to come.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, congratulations, everybody. I think there is still time to put in your vote for Mr. and Mrs. Mariposa. So I think that this is a good platform. We have 2 candidates. So you could write into the Gazette right now to keep this train going. Well, Drew, if that's the conclusion, I think we're about ready to wrap this up.
I think so. It's been an outstanding year with everybody putting all the input in. Like we said, this has been a year like no other. So, let's finish it out like the year that it started off, a year like no other. So really go out on a big sprint through the finish line and make this fantastic. And I really appreciate everybody's help and support for the students of Mariposa.
Yep, well said. And I just want to say one more time, thank you to everybody who participated today and who received a nomination, and thank everybody for all their hard work. I think that this year, has been unprecedented. I've been very vocal to those who are outside of this county and to those within the county as well about how proud I am of this entire school community of handling this pandemic. And I think ultimately at the end of the day, there will be a time when we get a little space from this entire year and look back and just be very proud of all the work that we've done and how we've all really stuck together through just an extremely difficult time. And Mariposa has been in a variety of ways an example to other school communities out there about how to provide an opportunity for our students this year, and doing it in a way that was very collaborative across all stakeholders, parties. And I think as we wind down this year and take some time to celebrate and catch our breath, I'm really looking forward to graduations next week. Really looking forward to, it looks like come June 15th, we're going to be in a position where we can bring, larger cohorts together, not have to worry about that distancing. And we're going to take this time this summer to really embrace that and just be thankful for getting back into some sort of normal routine. And then that will all play out. And my hope is as we return in the fall, we'll be in a position to just be kind of overwhelmed with excitement, of course, and anxiety as our kids return. But it's going to be a different world when we return in the fall. It's been a year since we've, longer than a year since we've had everybody back. And so, preparing for that and kind of getting back into that mindset and the chaos and the anxiety that comes with what we all do here. I know that there's going to be a portion of that where we will be extremely excited to just have that opportunity. I think Chris said it very well, of just getting everybody back and remembering what we're here for and supporting our kids. So with that said, we'll go ahead and close out, and I look forward to seeing everybody out there. And if I don't see you, enjoy the summer. Everyone deserves it. Let's take a big deep breath and get a little bit of a break. And we'll come back in the fall and be in a bigger, better place to support our kids. So thank you, everybody. Really appreciate you all showing up here today. And just always love being here in Mariposa and celebrating this community. So take care, everybody.
Thank you.